Hey everyone, I'm Alan Mallory, and if you've been following my blog posts this past month, you'll see that I've focused on stress. And maybe you don't have any stress in your life, but if you don't, then you are the minority, because stress is a real challenge for a lot of us nowadays, especially in the fast-paced lifestyles that we're living. Especially with technology, we're having to be on a lot more of the time, maybe except when we're sleeping, and even sometimes it feels like we're expected to be connected when we're sleeping. So all of this is leading to higher levels of stress. Stress, of course, has physical repercussions as well as psychological repercussions, and can affect us in many different ways. I've focused on each of these ways really one at a time. I mean, the first is really the physical challenges that we can get when we have too much stress, and it certainly affects our sleep. I've had that at times. You can get headaches, dizziness, all kinds of different physical, negative physical effects from stress. It's important to remember that not all stress is bad. In fact, if we want to perform at an optimal level, you want to have a certain level of stress. That actually increases performance. But then when we're kind of behind the eight ball, or there's no time or money left in the project that we're working on, that's when we're really at a way too high an arousal level in terms of stress. And that, of course, decreases performance. And trying to operate at that point all the time is really, it's counterproductive, but also it's very hard on our health. And there's been lots of studies that link high levels of stress to all kinds of physical ailments, especially over the long term. There's a lot of psychological challenges as well that are generated from stress, really addictions. And it might not be a really serious addiction, or many times it is, but certainly we can just get addicted to all kinds of things, including just eating continuously. Stress often causes us to just want to continue to eat, so that's a challenge. What can you do about stress? I mean, maybe one of the first things, and something I try to do as much as I can, is get outside. And this helps us in a number of different ways. But first and foremost, I guess it takes our mind off of what we're going through. But there are a lot of other, and I'm not sure all these are understood. The importance of spending time in nature, for example, and how that kind of calms us, calms our minds, and allows us to focus on other more positive things. So that's, of course, pretty important. Relaxation techniques. I spent a lot of my time in my younger years really learning these different breathing techniques and progressive muscle relaxation. I used to do a lot where you kind of focus on each muscle group and allow yourself to relax if you find you're in this tense state, because that was becoming the norm for me. And so that was pretty important. I think more than anything, it's kind of taking time to recharge, shutting off your mind. This is what the mindfulness is all about, and learning to kind of be in the moment. And hopefully that moment is something other than the work that's causing you the stress to begin with. But that's a little bit on stress. Hopefully you enjoyed the blog posts. If you didn't have a chance, go back and have a quick look, and I'll see you next month.